a lot of positives out of the game. I thought our student section was great. I want to commend them before I even get into the game. But I think the best student section in the SEC. Cheer hard for the right plays and do it the right way. So thank them. Really appreciate what they've given us all year. It's great to get a win on senior night with three of the best seniors. As far as culture-wise go, Houston Millette, very disappointed he didn't get I'm very disappointed he didn't get to score on senior night. He doesn't really care. And to me, that's why he's so great. I typically wouldn't try to go score when there's no shot clock when you're up 12, but he had 0 points, and I was trying to get him a bucket. It would have been nice if he got to foul and made a free throw, but he didn't care. I cared. He just cared. He won. He ended up winning the hard had the most blue collar points. Played super hard. About the right stuff. Reitzel's come on great. He didn't score it as well as he had been tonight. Noah's just been great with his attitude. Whatever we need from him. So those three guys get a win on senior night. I couldn't be happier for those three. I thought we did a really good job for the first 25 minutes of the game, building up a 25-point lead, and then, we haven't done a great job closing games out when we've had leads. I told the guys after the game, if you start playing the scoreboard and not finishing games in March, you're going to get sent home early. So great 25 minutes, not a great 15 minutes to close. Fouled them too much. Took bad shots, looked like guys were starting to hunt their own points. So I was a little disappointed with the close of the game, but we had the right mentality to come out in the game. Our first half was really good. We held them. They were .91 in the first half. So defense was great. 4 out of the last 5 games, we forced double-digit turnovers. It's been a point of emphasis, trying to turn people over. I thought right out of the gate we did a good job of that. On our offensive end, we were 1-4-7 in the first half. They obviously were trying to take away the three-point line. I think we were 11 straight games that hit at least 10 threes in a game. So we didn't get it tonight. But we scored 58 points in the paint. So, and I've said it before, people act like, we live and die by the three. That's not it. We play the most efficient basketball we possibly can. Threes are part of it. You get great shooters. You generate the correct threes, and those are great shots. Well, I thought we took some bad ones trying to take threes because they were doing a good job switching, building out, taking us off the line. But we scored 58 points in the paint. So if we'd have made some free throws, we'd have scored 100 on them. We ended up still scoring 75 points at the line and in the paint combined, which is a lot of points. So, we're able to score the ball when teams take away the three by playing an efficient style of basketball. And so, we also did a pretty good job on the old boards. You look at second chance points and points off turnovers, which we just lost in a drastic fashion in our loss at Georgia. We're +7 on points off turnovers and +16 in second chance points. So +23 in those two stats, and that was about what we were on the wrong end against Georgia. So I thought we came in, flipped some of the stuff that we had issues with in the loss at Georgia. We got to close games. We can't play the scoreboard. Disappointing 15-minute close, but really good first 25 minutes, and a lot of the stuff we've been stressing.
You just kind of hit on it at the end, but how pleased were you with the effort on the glass? Obviously, statistically, you kind of flipped it, but just what did you see effort-wise in that area, especially after what happened last time out?
I think my favorite play of the game was Jalil's putback. I loved it. I've really come to love that kid. Kid with a lot of expectations and pressure on him coming in. He's really just bought into trying to get better, play hard, play with a great attitude, get better at the stuff we're trying to push him to get better at. In 9 minutes, he scores 6 points. He has that big old board. I thought he was good. He didn't turn the ball over at all. So I couldn't have been happier. And that was, he was great. London had some really good old boards. Houston was going all over it. I mean, you go down the list. Like Aiden Sherrill was obviously great on the glass. You know, he had 4. Mari had 2. London had 2. Houston had 3. Noah Williamson in 10 minutes had 2. We had a lot of guys double-digit, rebounds. Noah, I thought, was great in there. You know, Aiden Sherrill had, twice as many O boards as defensive boards. I thought he was really getting to the offensive glass hard. So, he's coming along like we need him to. So, really happy with the effort all over the offensive boards.
You commented in the intro about Auburn's defense trying to take the 3 ball away. It seemed like penetration was there for y'all all night. Did they make some adjustments defensively, or did they pretty much stick with keeping you off the line?
I think they kind of stuck with it. I mean, even late in the second half, we were able to get in the paint. We kind of recognized it there, and made some halftime adjustments, fewer ball screens, just attack them in the slots. They want to build out and leave their guys play one-on-one. I don't. We had some matchups that I didn't feel like they could guard us one-on-one without any help, and if you're going to take away threes, there's no help. So we went to more of that. Amari got in the slot, attacked the rim early. Thought Holloway did, file on a little bit. Like, we had some guys that got downhill and made some plays at the rim, and I thought did a pretty good job.
How important was it for you guys moving forward for Amari to kind of get back to the performance he had after the struggles last week?
Huge. We needed him playing like this, and really, you look at all of our guys that scored points. I mean, Barron and Biz hit 5 threes between them, but we only had 7 threes. Jaleel hit the 1, London hit the 1 late. For Amari to score 16 points and only take 1 3, I thought we needed him to get aggressive. 2 boards, 16-5, only had the 1 turnover. I thought he was really good. We need him playing super hard, aggressive like he was tonight for us.
You guys clinched the number 2 seed next week with the win. Just how big is that for you guys?
Yeah, I think it's big. Obviously, the better your seed gets, the more it's lined up for you to win with, days off, time of games, all that. So, I looked at the bracket quick before I walked in. So I think it's Ole Miss and Texas on Wednesday. Texas obviously beat us the only time we played them. Then it's the winner of that against Georgia. Georgia's beating us, so unless an upset happens, we'll be playing somebody that we're 0-1 against, unless Ole Miss can pull off 2 upsets. So our guys are going to have to get locked in, ready to go. So, it is nice that they'll, if we see Texas, they'll play back-to-back nights before they play us. If we see Georgia, they'll at least had to play 1 night before they play us. But they're both good, and we didn't look good against either one of them. So we're going to have to fix what was wrong in those games. Obviously, Georgia one just happened. A lot of turnovers, points off turnovers, didn't do a great job on the glass. Texas, it's been a while since we played them. I'll have to get back to that one. But the fact that we do get the bye, too, and I think we've had that bye all the way to Friday. Every year I've been here, outside of the first year when they didn't have the tournament, I think except like year 3, we didn't have it either. So I think, what is this, year 7? So out of the last 6, we've had it 4 or 5 out of the 6. Yeah, we've had it 5 out of 6 years. So it's a lot better to have it than to not have it. So it's great that we're the 2 seed.
Just based off that, kind of, what does the prep kind of look like over the next few days against those teams?
Yeah, off tomorrow. They'll get in, do some rehab with Clark. But nothing required as far as basketball stuff goes. Monday we'll get in. It'll really just be more about us, what we need to clean up in this game, and defensively we fouled too much late, but we'll watch the film. We'll also figure out what we're not doing a great job of that Georgia and Texas expose and really make it about us. I think Tuesday we'll look at probably a scout on, a little bit, not go full dive into it. We're not going to practice super hard Wednesday or Thursday because, it'd be dumb to kind of lose the advantage of being fresh on Friday. But by the time Wednesday that game happens, we'll have a better idea of Georgia or one other team, and then we'll start to put some of the scout stuff in, some of the stuff that maybe we struggled with. You could put in as walk through stuff on like Wednesday, Thursday, but Monday, Tuesday is going to be all about us and being smart, staying fresh, working on what we need to work on without getting the guys too tired, because we're going in and trying to win this thing. Obviously, Florida's playing great basketball. They're probably moved themselves up to a 1 seed based on what happened in college basketball today. They deserve to get moved up to a 1 seed, in my opinion. But we didn't play well at all against them. They've been playing. I saw a lot of the first half today. They looked great, and then Kentucky cut it. I saw it was pretty close late. I'll have to, if I got time, maybe look at that second half. But we're going to mainly focus on us. Those 3 teams that we'd play the winner of, and then I don't even know after that who. There's a lot of other teams that we could play on Saturday, so we're going to probably focus on Texas, Ole Miss, Georgia for right now.
Coach, I saw you had a very warm embrace with Houston Millett when he checked out. His hustle and his example, is that kind of rubbed off on Bethea? Because Bethea gave you some really good minutes, and I thought his energy defensively was really, really good.
Listen, Houston Millett's one of the highest character, best culture builder players I've ever coached. Like, when I tell you he didn't really care that he didn't score a point, but shoot, his whole family's here. It's senior night. Like, I really wish they would have called that and let him make some free throws, at least get a point. But man, we left him in. We tried to take him out one at a time. Right till first. He was playing really well. Shoot, reigning player of the week in the SEC. Make sure the crowd gets behind him. And then Noah's giving us great effort. And I just kept leaving Houston there, hoping he'd get a point on senior night. Finally, then the refs didn't call a foul there on the one, and we got to get him out for the crowd to acknowledge him. So, yeah, I love him. I mean, he's great. And like you said, for these young guys to look up to see the type of example that he sets, and I think some of our guys that were here last year, think about Filan as a freshman, to have examples like Chris Youngblood, Houston Millett, Reitzel. Like, they've got some really good examples to watch what it's supposed to look like as far as just being a team guy and a culture guy, which is why we got one of the best cultures in the country. And guys really don't care how many minutes they play, how many shots they get, just whatever they can do. I mean, you look at Taylor right now. Taylor's a lot more talent than probably his production's showing, but he went through a lot of injuries, got out of shape. He's coming back. I mean, it's hard not to have a great attitude and do things the right way when you've got guys like Houston, CY, Trelly in the program, exemplifying what it looks like to do the right thing. Great turnout from the media today. We'll see you all up in Nashville.